Welcome back. I'm Nicolbw, and this is Getting Started with Botania. Or you can think of it as Botania 101. If you've been interested in the mod, this is the basic things that you'll need to know to get started with it. So anything too involved into the mod pack, I will not be going through in this video. Just basic things. So when you load it into a world, this is obviously a sky block, but it also has Botania in it. You'll notice there are flowers just like this with little floaty particle effects coming off of it. And you'll see those either your world gen, they'll be everywhere, or they'll be kind of a little more few and far between, but they should be there if you're generating a normal world. If you're a sky block, don't worry, you can still get those flowers with something that's called Floral Fertilizer. So more than likely, this will be the recipe. Your mod pack may have changed it, so definitely make sure you check and see. But bone meal and some dyes will get you floral fertilizer. So you just want to fertilize the ground and it will give you the Botania flowers. That should be the only thing you get with this floral fertilizer. Then you can pick them up. I'm in creative, so it just breaks them. But there you go. You can get the flowers that way. If you're in a sky block, you'll just need some grass and some floral fertilizer. So the thing that you want to get are the white flowers to begin with, because the first thing that you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make a petal apothecary, and you're also going to want to make pure daisies with the petal apothecary. So you get yourself some mystical white flowers. You can turn them into petals. So you'll need 2 flowers in order to do the first pure daisy. So you want to put water in your petal apothecary. Drop your 4 white petals in there, and you can see they're floating around in there. And to finish it off and to get the actual flower, you want to drop in regular wheat seeds. And there you go. Now you have yourself a pure daisy. Now this you can put on the grass, or you can make them into floating flowers, but I can talk about that in a minute. You will want to put those away. Stone in a circle around it, and wood logs. So it's always helpful to have a couple of them. You can use one for wood and one for stone. You can also mix and match. It has to be on the same level, and only the blocks adjacent to the flower on the same level as the flower will work. After some time, there's particle effects. You can see that it's working. After some time, it will change into living wood and living rock. You will need these couple sets, at least, of those. You'll need about 10 living rock, and you'll need 6 living wood. No. You'll need 12 living wood to begin with, because you'll want to make a wand of the forest, which takes living twigs, and then any 2 colors of petals that you want. You can mix and match. You can arrange them however you want, but the twigs are 2 living woods together. So you'll need 6 just for the wand of the forest. Okay, so you'll want to make a mana pool. You'll end up making a diluted mana pool, which will be blue in color, like a light blue in color. It's the living rock in the shape of a boat. You'll make that, and you'll need to fill it with mana. So the first easiest flowers to make are day blooms, which are the yellow ones, and nightshades, which are the purple ones. You can look up the recipe for those in NEI. They're pretty simple, just some petals and just different combination of colors of petals in the petal apothecary. Again, to finish it off, you'll need the wheat seeds. So You'll also need to make a mana spreader. Now this is living wood, an gold ingot, and then any color of petal will make the mana spreader. The mana spreader will take the mana that your flowers are making and will pull the mana from the flowers and put it into the mana pool. So once the mana pool has enough, you'll need to drop another mana pool in there to make it the regular mana pool. So you'll start off with, if we look up the pool, I should have had this ready. You have a diluted mana pool here that has kind of a blue color. The capacity is not very big. So what you'll want to do is get enough mana that you can see there's a check mark in there. On this one, there's an X. That means it will not change. But with this one, you just drop it in there, and there we go. There is the regular mana pool, and the capacity is a lot larger now. So that's how you do the mana pool. Now you're generating mana. Depending on what version of Botania you're using, the later versions, these passive mana producing flowers will wither and die out. So the thing that you'll need to do is you'll want to only use these long enough that you can get more active producing mana flowers. So those are like these, and I have them in the floating version. These give off light. You want to combine one of these flowers with a pasture seed, which you can drop grass into the mana pool, and it will give you a pasture seed and dirt. Combine those three together will give you the floating version of a regular flower. Combine the, oh no, wait. You have to combine it with, oh no, I've completely forgotten how to make these. Okay, so the floating ones, you'll want to make the glimmering version of the flower first, which is 2 glowstone and whatever color of flower that you have on hand. You'll also need to make the pasture seed, which is grass in a mana pool. Will make the pasture seed. So you take the glimmering version of the flower and the pasture seed, combine it with dirt, and you get the floating version of just the plain flower. You combine that with the mana producing flower that you want to make floating, or any of the flowers that you want to make floating, and that's how you make the floating version of those. Now these are 3 different ones. They are a little more active, which means these are passive. Once you place them down, you can just set it and forget it. You do not have to do anything with them. They will keep producing mana. These, however, have something that you need to do. So this one is a munch dew. It will eat leaves. This one is a gormialis, which will eat food. If you hear it, it will just keep eating them. Then this one is an exoflame, which will, oh no, wait. Did I do the right one or the wrong one? I think I did the wrong one. It should be the endoflame, right? Yeah, it should be the endoflame, not the exoflame. The exoflame takes mana and uses it with the furnace to make the furnace run better. The endoflame will take burnable materials like coal, absorb it, and produce mana with that. Oh, those two, I got confused. One's endo and one's exo. They both have flame in the name. So there you go. If you hold the wand, you can see the mana burst. There goes one there like that. And you can right click to keep updated on the the status of any of the flowers. You'll also want to bind the spreader to the pool, and what you'll want to do is shift right click. Now it's in function mode and there's a bind mode. You want to have it in bind mode. It has the little green leaf down there. Shift click on the spreader and then shift click on the pool, and it will be linked. And if we hover over the spreader, you can see that the pool is now has an outline. So you can see that they are linked. So over here, I put a creative pool. This is just in creative mode. So just for these demonstration purposes, you'll want to use that in a real world situation. So some of the flowers that you may want to produce will call for, let's see, Botania. I've completely lost what these are called. The runes. So, like the ruin of water, oops, I didn't mean to do that. The ruin of water, this is what the recipe is, and it's based on a runic altar. So, the runic altar is a mana diamond or mana pearl with some living rock. Now these are just the diamond or the pearl dropped in some mana, and there you go. So what you'll want to do, we're going to need one of these, is once you're ready and you have the recipe all set up, you want to right click. You can see there what recipe we're doing, and it's like a little pie chart, and that will tell you how much time it has left. It is taking the spreader is sending all the mana to the altar. You can also, if you don't hold the wand, you can still see it. You can see the mana, which is kind of cool, but as soon as it's done, see there's a little like star thing there in the center. As soon as it's done, there will be little lightning or electric bolts that come up. And we're almost done. Okay, so see there's little lightning electric bolts. If we don't have, you can still see it without the wand in your hand. You'll want to drop some living rock on top and then right click it with the wand, and there you go. There are your runes. So depending on what runes that you may get 3, you may get 1, depending on that. Something that is really interesting is this lunium flower. Now this is kind of, let's see the recipe for that. It is pretty involved. You'll need to have, you will need to be pretty deep into the mod to get to this point, but it is a really neat flower. It, when fed mana, will produce loot from loot chests that appear in the world. So I've paired this with a hopper hawk. The hopper hawk will pick up anything dropped nearby. So this is everything that it has created since I put it down. That's a lot of stuff. So that is definitely an interesting thing. I'm not sure how much mana it uses, whether it uses a lot or a little, because I've been using the creative, which is always full. So I'm not sure about that, but you can see how often it's dropping things. Another one you'll want to consider using is this jaded amaranthus. This, when given mana, will produce the flowers for you. So you don't have to go out and find them. Now there's 2 different ways that you can use this. So we need to find we need a lever. I think that'll work. So you can either use the Drum of the Wild, Oh, wait. That won't work. Maybe some... Here, let me grab that. Oh, well, never mind. So there's a way to do that. I don't think I'm doing it correctly. But if you give it a redstone signal, it's supposed to pick up this stuff. You can also use the Horn of the Wild, which will break all of the different things. And now the Hopper Hawk's going to try to pick all those up, I think, if there's room. But you can see the flower is already producing another one. So let's get another Hopper Hawk and a chest. And there you go. You can see that it has already picked up. Actually, we should put another thing there. So all I'm doing is holding right click, and there we go. And the Hopper Hawk picked it up. So that is interesting as well. So now we're picking up all of the different flowers. There is a way to automate it, but maybe it's changed since I knew about it. There's also the orchid. This, when given stone around it, and it will go up to this high. This will not change. But this one, I wonder how far back it'll go. Every once in a while, it will change another one. And I went through and got all different kinds of ores, but it will do them in like order of what's more common in your world. So it looks like that. Let's see, it's right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that last one shouldn't change. And so it looks like it's a 5 block radius and 2 higher than itself. And I wonder how low it'll go. Ooh. Maybe 2 lower than it as well. So, yeah. It looks like, no, it looks like 3 and then the flower and then 2. And it goes out by 5 each direction. So there you go. That one's also an interesting flower, especially for a sky block. So this has been the very basics of getting started with Botania. I hope it helped. There is a lot more to this mod than I can even say in one video, let alone 2 or 3. I suggest going out and finding somebody to watch that has played it in their world and has gotten fairly deep into it. There's a lot of different flowers. One thing that you'll want is the Lexica Botania, and this thing is very detailed. There's all kinds of generating flowers that will generate mana from all different kinds of things. There's lots of different functioning flora that do all kinds of things with hostile mobs, peaceful mobs, moving stuff around, creating ores, creating loot, creating flowers, all kinds of stuff. This mod is quite impressive. So get yourself a Lexica Botania, read through it, and there's just all kinds of things. There's a portal to Elfheim that you'll want to make. There's armor and weapons. There's rings that let you magnetize, like pick up stuff. There's things that make you fly and walk faster, and there's rods that give you like dirt and water and just all kinds of stuff and potions and there's things that you can put on yourself. I have the cat ears on. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.